All right, in this video, we're diving into Trello, Asana, or Monday.com. Which of them is the best project management system for you and your team? This is the ultimate showdown. And this video is not sponsored. If you have used any of these tools, make sure to let me know in the comments below which one is your preference. And without further ado, let's jump into it. I've judged these platforms on 5 different criteria: user interface and ease of use, task management and features, collaboration and communication, integration and automation, and pricing and scalability. Let's talk about the UI for these platforms and the ease of use. Trello is known for its simplicity and its intuitive drag and drop board style. It's perfect for those who prefer a visual and straightforward approach, but I will say it can feel a little bit limited when it comes to having more complex projects. If you've used Trello before, you'll notice that there's not a lot of options. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, which is great if you're individually working on a project or if you are more of a visual learner or visual person that works on projects. It's easier to see the workflows up front. If you work on multi-campaigns, though, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you don't have the same level of being able to move around or get things where you need them to go to make complex projects look a little more simple. Asana is a clean interface with multiple viewing options like lists, boards, calendars, and timelines. It's great for those that want flexibility without feeling overwhelmed, but it might have a slight learning curve for people who are new to project management. What I love about Asana is you can take all these really complicated projects, build them out into a project management software, and be able to see them in multiple different things, whether you want them to be in boards or timelines. The downside is a lot of people don't use the full functionality of Asana because they don't know how it works or they don't know that they are able to. So sometimes if you work with Asana for even 2 or 3 years, you don't fully use the full extent of what the platform has to offer. Monday.com offers a modern, colorful, and customizable interface. You can tailor the dashboards to suit your team's specific needs, but the sheer amount of customization can be a bit overwhelming at first. When it comes to user interfaces, all of these platforms are phenomenal. They all work fantastic, but maybe there's some that appeal to you more than others. But keep in mind as we go through the next categories. The second category is task management and features. So let's talk about Asana. Asana offers a more robust task management capability like subtasks, task dependencies, and workload views. It's great for handling complex projects and detailed hierarchies and deadlines. If you work across multiple teams, if you work across multiple people, departments, whatever, Asana is great because you are able to add collaborators, add teams, and they're only able to look at the certain categories that you assign to them. If it's something that you as the project owner are saying, I want this person to do this and this person to do this and this person to do this, you're able to create as many groupings as you need to kind of create individual workflows for those individual teams. Let's talk about Monday. Monday.com combines task management with advanced automations, and you can set up triggers, assign tasks, and automate workflows, making it the perfect for teams that are looking to reduce manual work. Especially in the era of artificial intelligence and workflow automation, I expect that Monday's feature set when it comes to tasks and features or task management will become even more streamlined and even more powerful. Not necessarily as complex as Asana, but definitely more complex than Trello. So let's talk about Trello. Trello focuses on task management through cards, lists, and boards. It's straightforward, but it lacks some advanced system features like task dependencies and native time tracking. The way that Trello visualizes your projects, I think, is brilliant. It creates boards and very simple looking platform interfaces where you can assign tasks, you can see tasks in one space, and you don't necessarily have to worry that you're missing something, unlike the other 2 platforms where if you don't necessarily assign them to the right category or you forget to add the people that are supposed to be on them, you don't necessarily see them until maybe the deadline is missed. Where Trello, you kind of see everything up front, and the task management or the ability to actually see what needs to be done is a little more front and center. The third category is collaboration and communication for those teams who are looking to get a project management software for the whole team that can track all of your projects in one place. Let's start with Monday.com. Monday stands out with built-in communication tools and integrated updates. You can have conversations directly on items, making it easy to keep context within tasks. This is brilliant for any teams that are working with a lot of creative materials, or if you have an issue in your company of keeping the most recent documents at the forefront of your project. I know that when I've worked in projects in the past, I send through 10 or 12 different versions of the same document, let's say on Microsoft Teams or Slack, it's a lot harder to collect that feedback from team members because they have to send it to me individually, or maybe they send it to me in a different Word document. Monday.com is brilliant for this. It has everything built in, especially on the individual tasks where you can comment or you can provide feedback. So you don't have to spend a lot of your time searching for or collecting feedback and centralizing it all in one place. Let's talk about Trello. Trello's collaboration is centered around comments, mention, and card attachments. It lacks integrated chats or advanced communication tools, but by allowing you to comment directly on people's boards or their tasks, it makes it easier as you as a project manager to give your feedback all in one place. It's not necessarily as integrated or as advanced as Monday.com, but if your workflow doesn't require that, then I don't think you need to go any extra. And lastly, let's talk about Asana. Asana provides better collaboration features like conversations, project comments, and the ability to assign comments on tasks. However, real-time communication is still limited. Unlike Monday, that's a little more integrated and a little easier for you to see, or Trello, that's a little easier for you to see, Asana is more segmented, which is a blessing and a curse when it comes to communication. It's great from a scalability standpoint. It's great for keeping complicated projects in their little quadrants, but sometimes walling off by doing that much communication and collaboration makes it a little difficult. Across the board, all of those are great. Depending on your needs, if it's something that you want something a little more integrated, maybe Monday.com. If you want something a little simpler, maybe Trello. If you want something that's specifically going to help you with complicated projects and communicating with a lot of back and forth, Asana might be your bet. But all of these platforms have communication functionality. It's just dependent on how you want to work with your collaborators at the end. The fourth section is integrations and automations. You want a tool that is able to integrate with your existing tools, and you want to automate your workflows to make it easier to get things done. So let's start with Trello. Trello integrates with numerous apps like Slack, Google Drive, and many more through what they call power-ups. However, you're limited to one power-up per board on the free plan. If you're planning on paying, not necessarily an issue. If you want to try some of these power-ups to see how they function, maybe you want to try integrating Google Drive so that you can upload your files and connect them to your campaigns. It makes it a little bit easier to manage files. It makes it easier to manage your workflow. Automation-wise, not much automation happening on Trello. Although the other two platforms that we'll talk about do have automations, they're a little bit more complicated to set up. So just know that integrations, Trello can do. Automations, maybe not so much. Let's talk about Asana. Asana offers 200 integrations, including tools like Microsoft Teams, Salesforce, and Zapier, which connects to almost everything. With Asana, automation tools are really powerful, but they do take some time to set up. Zapier, in my experience, connects to almost everything. You have to pay per zap, which sometimes can add up, but if you're able to connect your workflow and set them up quickly, you can set up Adobe Signs, you can set up marketing automations, you can set up sales automations, you can set up full workflows in Asana so that if something happens, that a whole triage of items happen behind it. This could work for event planning, it could work for sales outreach, it could work for lead nurturing, things like that. So whatever you're trying to do with Asana, the integrations and the automations, they're there. They are a little complicated to set up and they might take you a little bit of time. Let's jump into Monday.com. Monday provides extensive integrations and automations, allowing you to connect tools like Zoom, Dropbox, and various CRM platforms. Automation is built into almost every aspect, which can be a game changer for streamlining workflows. Monday is a lot easier when it comes to automations, although I will say Monday as a whole, I think, is more built for the AI generation that's about to come. I don't know if the other platforms have quite caught up to that, but Monday is helpful because it connects to these platforms and you're able to immediately build in these integrations, these automations from the start without, I mean, you still have to do some work to get them set up, but it's not as much as maybe you would have to do with Asana or in some cases Trello. The fifth section is pricing and scalability. When you build out a platform, or when you build out a project management system, you want to be able that you can use it for multiple reasons, not just a one-time thing. So let's start with Asana. Asana's free plan is pretty generous when it comes to unlimited tasks and projects, but it limits features like timelines and reporting. When you get to the paid plan, which starts at $10.99 per month, offering more robust tools and scaling teams, it becomes a little bit more beneficial on an enterprise level. So if you're working with a small team, I would just say a team less than 5 people, Asana's basic tasks functionality is cannot be beat. In my opinion, it's the best. And you are able to go from the free plan to the paid plan with no issue in terms of seeing the timeline, seeing your tasks. Okay, let's talk about Monday.com. Monday offers a free trial. Pricing starts at $10 per user per month, which includes a wide range of features. And I would say Monday.com is the most scalable option, but it can get pricey with larger teams. If your team wants to use it on the free side, they only have a certain window until Monday starts making you pay. Now, enterprise level, if you have the money to spend on it, do it. I think it would be a great option. The automations are cool. The AI tech is cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening with Monday, but you can't scale it back. So from a scalability standpoint, you basically only go forward as opposed to Asana, which gives you the flexibility of going one direction or the other, depending on your needs or depending on if your project loads are becoming a little bit less. All right, let's talk about Trello. Trello has a free plan that covers basic functionality, but it limits your ability to do power-ups and its storage. The paid plan starts at $5 per user per month for more customization and advanced features. And that's the case with all of these platforms. Monday, obviously you have a free trial, but for the freemium plans on Asana and Trello, you're limited to certain feature sets, which in my opinion, Trello has the feature sets that you can use if you're just doing basic project management or if you're trying to do, something very simple. The free plan works for both. I think from a feature set, if you're looking at starting at a free plan going forward, Asana might be the easiest route to go because you still have access to really good features without having to pay. And in the event you do want to pay, scalability becomes pretty cheap. Okay, so let's talk about what is my verdict when it comes to these project management systems. Like I said, I've used all of these before in an extensive period of time. I've used them for years and years. So I'm very familiar with how all of these work. They have all, I will say, evolved really well throughout the years, and they've all added really good feature sets. There's tons of project management systems. I would say if you go with any of these, you're fine. Trello is going to be best for people who are an individual contributor just trying to keep track of your own tasks without any plans to really communicate or engage or collaborate with other people. That would be the best use case, I would say, for someone wanting to use Trello. I think Trello is one extreme of very simple individual contributors. Monday is if you have a full team of people and you have the budget to pay for it, I would say Monday.com is the gold standard. I think for most people, and this is where I fall, I think that Asana is the best tool for almost everybody. I think you can start out very simple. You can start out very individualistic. Maybe you have a team of 2 or 3 people. You add them, you start doing your projects, you start figuring out what the workflow looks like, you figure out how your cadence is, because when you start working on a project management tool, very rarely are you going to have your workflow outlined right from the beginning. A lot of times it takes a little bit of time to create the culture in your company for people to actually check their project management systems every day, to be able to actually follow up with projects every single day. I would say for most companies and most people, Asana is the route to go. But let me know in the comments below, what is your preferred project management system and how would you rank these 3 project management systems that I just talked about? And if you're looking for more tools to add to your tech stack, check out this video that I made about Microsoft Copilot. Is it worth the hype? And with that, I will see you on the next one.